You are listening to the global network of podcasters dedicated to the pharmacy profession. Welcome to the Pharmacy Podcast Network.
Has your business's marketing flatlined? Find your pulse again with Marketing Vitals, bringing you innovative and turnkey healthcare marketing solutions from industry experts who have developed a knack for solving problems. A co-hosted publication from GRX Marketing and Finch Marketing, sister companies that are passionate and knowledgeable about healthcare marketing.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly Bailey, Vice President of GRX Marketing and your host for today's podcast. I want to welcome you all to the Marketing Vitals podcast, where we provide a pulse on what's happening in the healthcare industry and the importance of a strategic marketing approach. Today, we are here with Paul Shelton, CEO at LTC at Home Pharmacy Network, and Susan Barrett, VP of Sales and Business Development at HealNow. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you so much for having us, Kelly.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So in this podcast, we are going to be talking about solving tomorrow's challenges today by innovating pharmacy care, specifically within long-term home services, essentially. So with more and more patients avoiding long-term care facilities and opting to stay in their homes, there is a need to proactively shift our patient engagement model. It's expected that the need for LTC at-home services will double in the next 50 years, putting an even larger strain on caregivers and the healthcare workforce as a whole. And so it's really important for pharmacies to, take advantage of this now, improve their cash flow today, and, support their community with, the reduced administrative burdens and enhanced patient outcomes that will support them tomorrow and then in the future. So we're going to be talking about the baby boomer generation. Paul, can you kind of fill us in on what you're seeing with that?
Yeah, absolutely. We routinely get folks asking about, what about the people that are turning 60 or 65? There's this silver tsunami that's coming. And frankly, I don't care about the people that are turning 65 being a silver tsunami because they're technology natives. My dad's a great example. He's 72. He just opened his third business. He's had an iPhone since literally the day they came out. Like, he's not the person we're talking about. We're talking about the folks that are in their 80s, kind of the early portion of the baby boomer generation, and they're doing to healthcare what they've done to every single market they've ever entered, whether it was the educational market, the home ownership market, the vehicle purchasing market. Is they are completely breaking the existing model. They're just tearing it apart and saying, nope, that's not how we want to do it. We want to be at home. And what's happening is we're seeing all this like transition from an institutional type of care. Their previous generation was okay, apparently, or not okay with, but much more okay with being able to say, okay, I need more focused care. My kids can't provide it. Again, baby boomer generation providing that care. They can't provide it. They want to move into institutionalized care where they have 24/7 access and support. The baby boomer generation has more savings. They've got more access to funds. And frankly, they've got more ability to stay at home longer, and they want to stay in their own home where they know they're going to be happy, healthy, and be able to be cared for by either a professional or a familial caregiver. And so we're seeing this need for patients that are skilled nursing level of care, but sitting in their own homes, right? And so the baby boomers have just completely shaken the market up. About 4 years ago now, or 3.5 years ago now, CMS identified this as an authorized location of care. Basically saying it's appropriate for us to pay for patients in their own home, because they were seeing the beginning of this inflection point where they were spending more money starting in 2018 on home and community-based services and supports than they were on institutional care. And so that takes this like population target of, call it 3.4, 3.5 million, which has been the historical pie for long-term care, to now like 14 million patients, which is the new pie for long-term care. And so most of those patients reside in community pharmacies. They're not being serviced by long-term care pharmacies. And it's frankly a whole level of service that most pharmacies are doing, but no one's taking credit for. Very few people are taking credit for.
Nice. Yeah, that's crazy. It's insane to think how much is going to be changing within the next, 5, 10, 15 years with this generation, just like you said, like changing the game basically.
Yep.
So like on our podcast, Paul, when we talked back in December, we talked about the LTC at Home program. And for those of you who are listening, if you're interested in learning more about the LTC at Home program and simplifying your marketing, we'd recommend you check out that episode of our podcast. But Today, we're going to be focusing on how to get started with LTC at home and why now is the ideal time to get started. So, I guess, Paul, can you kind of give us an overview of why pharmacies should start an LTC at home program with
Absolutely.
you?
Absolutely. I think it goes back to that last concept, which again, most pharmacies, most community pharmacies are already doing this work. They're just not getting compensated by the plans, the payers for the work that they're doing. We've done long-term care at home population assessments now for 177 pharmacies in the last 8 months. And within those, we've only found 7 pharmacies that it didn't make sense for them to move forward with a long-term care at home program because they didn't have the right population mix. Either in most cases, it was too many Medicaid patients for it to make sense because Medicaid doesn't recognize LTC at home currently. But 170 of 177 pharmacies that have raised their hands saying, "Hey, I'd like to learn more," have an opportunity for more than $3,000 a month of increased reimbursement by standing up an LTC at home program. There's not anywhere in pharmacy that we're aware of right now where you can find money to be paid for things that you're probably doing 80% of the work for. I mean, it's not just putting packaging and delivering to a patient. There's a lot more to it than that. But for many of our pharmacies, they're already providing compliance packaging. They're already providing free at-home delivery or no additional cost delivery to the patient. To that, they need to add monthly medication reconciliations. They need to add transitional care management and coordination of care and benefits. That's it. There's not a ton. It's not a ton of extra work. They're probably already doing most of that. So it's a great time to get started, and it doesn't take a ton of effort. I mean, we help you get linked in with either GeriMed or Innovatix, who are two GPO and PSAO partners on this, and get you rocking and rolling.
Awesome. So, kind of diving a little bit more about the process of enrolling
Mhm.
with LTC at home. I guess on average, how long does it take a pharmacy to get set up?
Great question. If they're already set up as a combo shop, so if they're already trying to do a combo shop work through GeriMed or Innovatix, then basically we can point them in the right direction within days. If they're not already set up and they need to get rostered with one of our GPO PSAO partners, right now, that rostering process takes about 60 days, and then there's another give or take 60 to 90 days on top of that to get the credentialing completed with ESI. So Express Scripts is a little bit backed up right now because of the number of new applications they're receiving. So start to finish, you're looking 120 to 180 days. But if you're already credentialed, we can have you ready to go in a matter of 5 to 10 days. Just having to do some small changes in your pharmacy.
Cool. So, what workflows does LTC at home help implement in the pharmacy?
Um, I love this question. So there's a concept of looking at today's pharmacy, like the retail pharmacy model, and we're hyper reactive, right? Like we have to wait for a patient to call, click, or walk in if we're not doing a heavy med sync program or an appointment based model. And so what long-term care at home almost forces the pharmacy to do is to change the way they engage those patients that are LTC at home and move them into a predictive model, meaning that we pick the phone up, we call the patient, we have our monthly medication reconciliation, we get clean claims. Then we have a 7-day process to produce those claims in a timely manner, an effective manner to make sure we don't have any O's or outs, deliver it to the patient. And when you look at that, what it does is it stabilizes the workload of the pharmacy across the entire month versus having a bolus of patients every Monday or a bolus of patients on the first of the month. It allows the pharmacy to staff to the work versus having to staff to what could be the work. So we're seeing actually a reduction in total number of personnel needed to manage this in a time where most pharmacies are struggling to find and replace team members as team members either decide to move into a different career path or maybe go on maternity leave and not come back. We're seeing a lot of that. A lot of folks just saying it's not worth it for me to come back into the stress. And the other thing it does is it reduces the overall stress of the pharmacy, reduces the number of phone calls coming in, reduces the number of touches that you're having per month per patient. Makes it a lot cleaner process.
That's awesome. So, I guess where can a pharmacy get started?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to ltcah.com, there's a join now in the upper right-hand corner. If you have questions about that process, feel free to reach out to us at team, it's TEAM, at ltcah.com. And we're happy to get that process started for you. One of the benefits of the network that we haven't really talked about is every week we do have office hours where you get access to industry experts for a whole hour to ask any questions that you may have. And so in addition to all the education and training and CE and everything everything that we provide, you do get that live engagement once a week. We have usually between 18 and 25 pharmacies on that every single week. Some of them are mutual customers of ours with between GRX and the long-term care at home pharmacy network. And it's always fun to hear them ask questions about, hey, I've grown by 50 patients. Now what do I need to do to fix this next problem that I'm running into? And so really seeing some awesome synergy there with growth and really just changes in their opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now that a pharmacy has, laid the foundation with LTC at home, the next step is to think about how to solve tomorrow's problem, which is processing payments and getting paid. So, Susan, can you tell us a bit more about how HealNow can support the long-term care payments?
Absolutely. We definitely, first, thank you for having me. And it's great partnering with both of you. We can help support the payments by automating the whole invoicing process. So as Paul stated, finding and replacing team members can be challenging. So HealNow kind of removes that admin burden and allows the staff to focus on meaningful projects like LTC at home and Paul's his predictive model in the pharmacy. So what we do basically, HealNow is basically we offer a suite of solutions to simplify pharmacy workflows and increase patient satisfaction while relieving admin burden and the pharmacy. So we have a particular product called HealNow Invoice that is a great solution that automates, again, the collection and invoicing process. So the days of snail mail, the days of waiting for a check are over, because the pharmacy gets paid a lot faster. It's great for cash flow. They get paid actually the next day. So, as Paul's model, increases, in scale, given the baby boomers, wanting to live at home, which is a wonderful thing. HealNow can automate the whole process and kind of even make it easier for these caretakers and family members to pay. They don't scramble and find the paperwork and write out a check. They can just click on their phone and their payment information saved and put a partial payment down that they owe. So it allows, again, the caretakers to make payment a lot faster and easier. The pharmacy, they are challenged in every which way, and that's why Paul's LTC at home is so beneficial with the reimbursements. The $3,000 extra a month. Well, we can help support that because we want to drive profitability in pharmacies. So HealNow can help these pharmacies get paid faster, decrease that admin burden about phone calls, about, again, collections, a big stack of invoices. Again, those days are over because everything is automated for the pharmacy.
That's awesome. Very cool.
I think
So go ahead.
One thing to add there, Susan, is it does one of the interesting things about long-term care at home is, like in a traditional institutionalized setting, the pharmacy does not have to collect a copay at the time they dispense the prescription. They can actually put it onto an invoice, and through HealNow, that allows a huge amount of flexibility for the caregivers and the patients to pay that when it's convenient. Many of these patients are on Social Security. They may only receive a payment on the 3rd of the month, and so even though they're getting their medications on the 24th or 25th, you can then invoice it, get it to the patient can pay it when it's convenient for them. A huge upside for the patients and caregivers.
Very good point. No, absolutely. When they can pay when it's right for them, it's like paying anywhere, anyhow. And it's patients and consumers today drive technology, and we're offering that because our job in conjunction with LTC at home and GRX marketing is to support. We're all 100% focused on pharmacy. We're here to support the independent pharmacy, and we want to see them thrive and survive and thrive. And where we can automate. These people are too talented. The pharmacies are wonderful things. We love our independent pharmacies. We can't say enough about them. And where we can make their lives easier and more efficient inside the pharmacy, and help them fuel patient care, because that's what they do. That's what they're experts at. That's why we're here. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said. So with HealNow, I guess, how long does it take for a pharmacy to get set up with your program?
Very quick. So it can take. So what the difference? HealNow is a fintech company, and so what a process of what we do that separates us from the other competition, if there's any. I'm just kidding. Other competitors is the pharmacy goes through fills out a merchant application, which is very quick. and we don't charge for that. And we do all the with our banking infrastructure and compliance team, we do all the underwriting, and the approval on behalf of the pharmacy. Now that takes just a couple of days, and so we can get a pharmacy from completion of paperwork to go live with our solutions architecture team. We can get them probably within a couple of weeks.
Oh, wow. That's really fast for sure.
Mhm.
So once they're kind of set up, how long does it take for a pharmacy to receive payment when they start sending those out?
Right away. Right away.
The pharmacies love that.
They do. It's not only they love it. It's so interesting because right when they fill out the merchant application, it's been approved because now they're the merchant of record. So now they are not going to receive any more card not present fees, which tend to erode profit margin.
Mhm.
So now that they're the merchant of record, Visa, because we do all the regulatory compliance on their behalf. We take all the risk because unfortunately these credit card brands view pharmacy as high risk and online payments coupled high risk. We mitigate that for the pharmacy. We take it on ourselves. So once it's interesting, once they get the merchant application, like when can we go live? And it's a very quick process. We do testing, and once the testing is complete, it's off to the races.
That's awesome. So I guess with your program, are there any fees for a pharmacy to get signed up?
Yeah, there are fees. They're very reasonable fees. Everything's built on an ROI. I'm happy to walk through because we have pricing plans, and so the pharmacy picks the plan that's best for them, because based on select feature sets and pharmacy type. So we walk them through our demo. We show them the patient experience, the pharmacy experience, and have them pick the plan that's best suited for them.
Perfect. That's awesome. So kind of diverting a little bit, what are some other ways that HealNow can support independent pharmacies in addition to like their LTC billing?
In addition to, the HealNow invoice product that I kind of focused on in the beginning, that is for LTC. That is built for LTC and LTC at home, but also LTC at home can also benefit from our B2C, which is it's also automating the payment process from a patient standpoint too. So it depends on the setup, Paul. Is it a caretaker? Is it a family member? And we can kind of customize accordingly based on the scenario at hand. But we also so instead of every industry has patients paying electronically, whether you're purchasing a trip, you're doing Uber Eats, whatever,
Mhm.
whatever, you're shopping online. Well, HealNow is here because we do online payments for pharmacy. So it's benefits both because we mitigate that game of phone tag that for a pharmacy, these technicians are so invaluable. They're so talented, and many pharmacies have these technicians on the phone all day long, collecting payment information, trying to get in touch with the customer, patient playing phone tag, scheduling deliveries. So we mitigate that whole process because the patient manages their own credit card information. They manage their own, obviously, address information, so the technician can do more meaningful things. So we provide patients a modern checkout experience to pay for their medications, automate, schedule delivery, purchase OTC items, services, like answer any clinical questions that the pharmacy might need addressed, or any surveys or any non-clinical questions. And we accept all types of payment, including FSA and HSA. And they sign and it's done. The patient signs and payment's done, and the pharmacy's paid the next day. So we don't hold on to any of the monies next day. And it's a branded experience. We're just behind the scenes powering it. So the pharmacy extends their brand presence online.
That's awesome. So where can a pharmacy go to get started with HealNow?
They can go on our website, or they can just get in touch with me. I'd love to, have my team, introduce my team and set up a demo. So Susan at HealNow.io, or they can go to schedule a demo on our website, HealNow.io as well.
Perfect. That's awesome. So pharmacies now have, the payments in place, the processes are in place, they've got their team all trained. And so, kind of establishing the baseline with these two wonderful companies, the next phase after that is growth. And the only way to compete with the others is to get out there today. You want to start this process now, because if you wait, There's going to be other people in the system. There's going to be multiple forms of competition for you. And so now is the best time for people to get started so that they are the first to be out there. And so, um, when it comes to marketing the LTC at home services, we've been working with the LTC at home team for a little while on, educating patients on what it is and getting them signed up, reaching out to providers, reaching out to facilities of different types, educating the community, that type of stuff. And so there's all these different ways you can reach out within your community and to get people onboarded to this program. But, like we said, this generation is very tech savvy. They know technology. They've been around technology long enough that they understand it. And so they are going to be looking online for long-term care at home services, and what they can find online is going to be what exists. And so that's another reason why starting now is going to be so crucial, because, getting it on your website, for those of you who don't know, SEO, which is search engine optimization, which is how people find things online, essentially, it takes time. It can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months for something that you add to your website to actually show up when people Google it. And so getting it on your website now is going to be crucial so that you have the established history of serving these types of patients. And so that when they are searching for you in 5, 10, 15 years, you have, that much time ahead of your competition that you have been servicing these people, and so that you can help and support them. And so it's really important to get out there now. Just get your information out, have your processes down so that when the time comes, scaling is a very simple matter. Work out all the kinks, get your stuff figured out now while your patient base is lower than what the potential for it is going to be come, again, 5, 10, 15 years. And so, make sure you have your ducks in a row so that scaling and growth is a very quick and easy thing to do. You're not continually, oh, okay, now that we've got more, how do we handle this? Oh, now we've got even more. Okay, now we need to hire somebody. How do we handle this? Getting your payments done in place, getting your processes in place, making it as easy on your staff to scale as possible is only going to benefit you more in the long run. And the other thing is, obviously chains are currently struggling too, and they're also not doing LTC at-home services. It's not really something that they're focused on at all. And so I know a lot of pharmacies that I talk with are, they're like, how do I compete? How do I stay ahead? How do I stay relevant? And, this is a very easy, in theory, way of doing that, because like you said, Paul, they're already doing a lot of these services, sometimes for free. And so, beating out the competition, the chains aren't doing this. It's really, truly a very effective way to, set yourself apart. Additionally, the baby boomer generation, in addition to needing those services themselves, a lot of them are also caregivers. My folks are baby boomers, and they help take care of my grandma. And so making sure that they know it's not just for them when the time comes, it's for, their parents who are also living a little bit longer than the generation before. And so, by supporting them now and helping them see the benefits now, and, how easy it is to do the payments and how nice it is to get it packaged and delivered and all those different types of things, you're setting yourself up for success for those caregivers who down the line may need these services as well. And so they're going to absolutely be thinking about you and your pharmacy because you've already been helping their parents or their friends or their family members for however long. When it comes to how to market, you can't shy away from technology. It's doing, geofencing campaigns, it's doing social media posts and videos, it's doing, paid digital ads, doing podcasts, and, recording videos of yourself and putting them on social media to help educate patients about it. Reach out to, non-traditional companies when it comes to, LTC at-home services, things like lawyers, estate planners, retirement planners, elderly companion services, places that, it's not just your nursing homes, it's not just your assisted living facilities, it's not just your, those standard things. Think about places that people would go and they'd be talking about their future, their retirement, planning for long-term care at home expenses. Reach out to them and be like, hey, we can help make it way easier and faster for them. And we can make it consistent with, easy online payments. It's easy for tracking, all that different types of stuff.
And Kelly, we've actually seen some really good success in engaging local religious locations,
Yeah.
whether that's your local church, your local temple.
Mhm.
The parishioners there, in many cases, you'll have one or two that'll say, "Wait, what? This is super easy for me," and it's almost comical how many people take Sunday afternoon to take their little MediMinder and they take their meds, they put it in there, there, and you show one influencer that's, I mean, one of the, these 70 or 80-year-old people who's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And they get that compliance packaging the first time. They're maybe not long-term care at home. They want an easier way to take their meds.
Mhm.
They tell everybody, like
Absolutely.
everybody in the little women's circle or the men's circle, everyone knows within a week. And a lot of actual religious leaders have, at least for us here in the Southeast, have been very, very open to what can I do to help my
Mhm.
congregation stay happy and healthy, and preferably at home as long as possible, so they can come in and they can worship with their friends and family. And it's been very, very interesting engagement point. To your point, a little atypical there. Same thing with
Mhm.
estate planners and elderly and disabled person services. So I think Meals on Wheels here.
Mhm.
If you have other elder care services, whether that's through your local counties, senior support services, go talk to them. They're always looking for things to help the patients that they service on a daily basis.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
what's interesting too, let me tag onto that, is we just did a patient survey, and over 60%, we scored very high, which we were very pleased to see,
Hmm.
because it's like, how are the patients engaging? How are they feeling? It's really about them and their healthcare. The majority were 65 plus that responded.
Mhm.
And you know why? It's so easy to use HealNow. Like, you don't have to, where did I
Yep.
put my login credentials? Oh, the app's not working. All the patient has to do, they receive a text and an email. They click on the link, enter their last name and date of birth. Because of
Hmm.
our integrations with pharmacy management systems, it pulls the data onto the pharmacy branded portal. So they see all of the medications, and the caretaker would see on the invoice, they would see all the medications for the patients as well. So it's very, very easy to use. Simplify wherever you
Mhm.
can.
Absolutely, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, Kelly, quick question for you.
Mhm.
When you're looking at these marketing tools, I know you said like take a video of yourself. We've had some customers have decent success making little Canva videos and putting them up on
Mhm.
Facebook, and they've been like they've loved it. Are there some other tools out there, obviously, other than like having your team just build these for them? Are there things that customers can do with your guidance and support to kind of maybe make it as a little bit of a self-help, a little bit of a maybe a quick 15-second thing that they're doing themselves?
Um, Honestly, for social media specifically, the videos is
Hmm.
always significantly more effective than almost anything else. And any standard
Yep.
post that you do is not going to be as good as just a video of you talking. And I always tell like our clients that it doesn't have to be scripted. It doesn't have to be
Right.
professional. Just use your phone and
Right.
just talk to your phone like you would a patient. If a patient comes in and says, "Can you tell me about compliance packaging? Can you tell me about your long-term care home program?" Just take 20 seconds and do that. If you have a hard time talking to yourself on a phone, give the phone to one of your techs and just look at your tech and tell them exactly what you would tell a patient. Just have them
Love
record
that.
you. It
Yeah,
doesn't have
love
to be
that.
perfect. It just needs to be correct and accurate, basically.
I've
So,
seen so many of them, like on LinkedIn, that are so impressive. They really speak
mhm.
from the heart, especially on the PBM issues. They're constantly educating, and speaking from the heart. And it's the thought leadership is impressive.
Absolutely. And it's social media. People go there for the social aspect of it. And so if they see their pharmacist talking about the benefit of this service and how, patients have appreciated it, how easy the payment system is, how little it takes for them to get set up, how it doesn't really cost them like anything,
Mhm.
and all these different like benefits, then that's going to do so much better than just the standard text of this, standard post. I mean, I could post a stat in
Yeah.
nice, big, fun, bright letters, but they're going to want to watch a video of you more than they're going to want to see my stats. So,
Right.
It's
um,
just amazing though. Like
Yeah.
the three of us here are taking the pharmacy into the future. Think about
mhm,
it.
Yeah.
A business cannot survive and thrive without marketing
mhm,
and
Mhm.
thoughtful, leadership with GRX marketing to grow and increase patience, and awareness. Every business product needs marketing, or else it's not a
mhm,
product business.
mhm.
Paul, with the baby boomers exploding, everybody wants to live at home. I mean, I hope can live at home when I get that inventory. I,
Right.
I really hope I can
Yeah.
live at home with my cat, and my
Yeah.
dog. I don't want to be in a facility. I want to be in my home. And
Mhm,
and LTC at home provides that, and in a line of service for the pharmacy to be a health partner. It's so lucrative. And then what we do is we automate the whole operational, like we help the operational efficiency. We help all, like the pharmacy. They're so talented. I can't say enough about them. They can focus more on the patient because of us.
Mhm.
Patient care, personalized care, which is needed today. So kudos to all of us.
Absolutely. Awesome. So putting it all together with GRX Marketing, LTC at Home, Pharmacy Network, and HealNow, we provide pharmacy with the foundation and building blocks for truly a stronger future. But again, you need to start now. You need to get going, and you can't wait. So it was so great speaking with both of you, Paul and Susan. We're excited to continue to work with you in 2025. I'm so excited to see you both at the Pioneer Show coming up in June as well. That's going to be super awesome. So for those of you listening to learn more about each of our services or get connected with us, you can find our links in the podcast bio. And yeah, it was so great speaking with you both.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for the opportunity, Kelly.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.